Do you ever struggle with not knowing what to trade? I mean, should you trade futures or maybe options? There are so many different types of markets. How do you know which one to pick? Well, in this video, I'm going to show you the three-step solution to this problem using one simple verse from the Bible that I bet you already know. I'm Pepper with Godly Trading, and our mission is to transform Christians into successful, disciplined traders through the application of biblical principles. And I know some of you are probably wondering, where in the Bible does it talk about how to choose between options and futures and forex and stocks? Well, I'm glad you asked, because here it is. To everything there is a season and a time for every purpose under heaven. And I'm sure that sounds familiar to almost all of you. For some of you, it's probably from the song Turn, Turn, Turn by the Byrds from 1965. But they actually got that from Solomon, who said it in Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 1. Now, we're going to camp out in the second part of this verse first and apply it here to our trading. So, there is a time for every purpose under heaven. Did you know that in the original Hebrew, that word purpose is chayfetz, and it means delight or pleasure or desire? If God defines purpose as delight, then your trading should not just produce profit, it should produce delight as well. So let me ask you this. Do you take delight in your trading? Or what you're trading, or when or how? When we think of purpose, we often think of the end result of accomplishing some task. But that's not what this word means. The first time this word's actually used is in 1 Samuel 15:22, when Samuel says, has the Lord as great delight in burnt offerings as sacrifices, as in obeying the voice of the Lord? Behold, to obey is better than sacrifice. I love that verse. It's a great Keith Green song. God was equating purpose with delight. And that's where we must start. Your purpose isn't just to make money. It's to do so in a way that honors God and serves your family. In other words, everyone must delight in your trading, not just you. So let me ask you some tough questions. How much time are you devoting to trading each day? Not enough? Or too much? I know you have probably heard me say this before, but the most important questions you can ask are not how to trade and what to trade and where to trade, but why are you trading? For whom are you trading? And critically, when are you trading? And if your purpose is to trade in a way that honors God and serves your family, then your why and your who are already set. That just leaves when as the most important question that you can ask yourself. I know you may be confused right now. We started off talking about how to decide what to trade, and now it seems like we're on a side quest. The market you choose is downstream from the time that you choose. Let me say that again. The market you choose is downstream from the time that you choose. So let's get started choosing. Here are the three simple steps. Number one, pick your season. Number two, prioritize your service. And number three, pursue your specialty. So the first thing you must do is pick your season. Right? Remember our biblical principle. There's a time for every purpose, not the other way around. We go through life, it seems, trying to find a time for all of our tasks, trying to assign a purpose to every time in our day. That's what scheduling is, right? But this isn't that. Every purpose that you want to accomplish must have a set time. By the way, the word at the beginning of that verse there, the original Hebrew word is zeman. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. And it means a set or appointed time. I just love that second definition. Appointed time. You should literally make an appointment to trade each day. Set it up like a doctor visit, in that you schedule it ahead of time and you set that time aside from the rest of your day. This keeps it from bleeding over into the rest of your day. I mean, you wouldn't go to the doctor's office 4 hours early just to hang out in the waiting room to get yourself in the right mindset for your visit. After all, you don't want to spend your whole day there. You're there for a purpose. But you also don't schedule your doctor's appointment during your family mealtime or when your kid has a piano recital or date night. You fit that appointment into your existing schedule as best you can. That's what you do with your trading. You remember that line of Jeff Goldblum's from Jurassic Park, the original? He told the old man, Hammond, that his scientists were so concerned about whether they could recreate the dinosaurs, they didn't bother to stop and think if they should. So I run into this so often with traders. Just because you can trade all day doesn't mean that you should. And this is step number 2. Prioritize your service. You have to remember your why and your who. Does spending 8 hours a day in front of your charts honor God? Does it serve your family? Pick a time of day that you can devote to trading without taking time away from your loved ones or without taking time away from God's greater purpose for you in your life. Make it as long as it needs to be, but as short as possible. And yes, I know that's going to limit you and your trading options. That's the point. Having limitless options of what to trade and where to trade is worse than having no options. Have you ever heard the phrase, jack of all trades, master of none? Your goal in trading is mastery, which leads us to step 3. Pursue your specialty. You want to become the absolute best at one thing. Now, does that mean that you only ever trade one thing for the rest of your life? No. I trade stock options and commodities and forex, but I focus on forex. I have mastered forex. And when life gets busy and I only have time to do one thing, that one thing, you guessed it, I trade forex. That's what you want. So once you have nailed down your time allotment and your time of day, you will naturally have filtered out a lot of markets and trading vehicles, except crypto, because crypto never sleeps. So let's say you only have 30 minutes at 6 a.m. Fantastic. You can swing trade almost anything, or you can scalp futures and forex. And you have 2 hours every day starting at 8 p.m. Great. You can day trade stocks or futures or forex. Deciding between those will be a simple exercise of how much money do you have? Very little? Well, then you're looking at forex or options. Even less than very little? Then it's probably futures or forex with a prop firm. You got lots of money? Then stocks are probably your best bet. You see how limiting options and limitations actually open the door to solutions? My buddy Brian does all of his trading for the entire week, 1 hour on a Monday night. That's when he's got, so he designed a system around that. What if you've only got 15 minutes a day scattered around throughout the week? Can you still trade? Yes. And I can tell you exactly what and where, and probably even how. The point is, you have to approach this problem systematically with a plan in mind. By the way, this is what we will be covering in detail next week during our Trading for Family Freedom Challenge. Hey guys, I want to pause the video for just a second. If you've been trading for a while and you're tired of starting over, listen carefully. It's not your strategy and it's not your discipline. There's a hidden reason your trading hasn't worked. And until you address it, nothing is going to change. That's exactly what I'm unpacking inside our 5-day Trading for Family Freedom Challenge. Over 5 days, I'll show you what serious traders build first so you can rebuild your trading on the right foundation and honor God by applying biblical principles to the way that you trade. Now, if that sounds like you, simply go to tradingforfamilyfreedom.com. That's trading, the number 4, familyfreedom.com, or click the link in the description. Now back to the video. But let me show you how backwards most people approach this. All right, so you wouldn't say, hey, I want a 10-seater passenger van for my family before you even got married. So You shouldn't say, I plan on trading options before you ever start trading anything. There is a logical, systematic plan for knowing what to trade, and it has nothing to do with how you feel about a market. Remember, to everything, there is a season. That includes your trading. By the way, that appointed time season there also means time of life. Your trading window, and by extension, your trading plan, should change with your life. If you're 20 and unmarried, when you trade should be different than if you're 40 with 3 kids, or if you're 60 and an empty nester. And that means that what you trade might also change. So don't get discouraged if you don't have as much time as you want right now. And that means that you can't trade some market that you really wanted to. Your life will change. Your responsibilities will change. And your trading should change with it. Remember, your trading must always fit your season of life, not fight it. What it boils down to is this. You don't need a perfect market. You need an appointed moment. Because to everything, even your trading, there is a season. I'll see you next time.